X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Calling. This is Jerry, and along with me, there is Kimberly Juarez and Willow Le Machant. What's up, ladies?
The sky.
What's up? What's up? Just kidding.
Okay. Kimberly?
How are you guys? What's going
Doing
on?
well. Doing
What's
well.
shaking?
Good.
What's
Very
shaking?
good.
Nothing. Nothing.
Really?
I
Right
ate
now-
a hard-boiled egg a little bit
Oh
ago.
no, I don't
And,
know.
oh my
Oh,
God,
we
it
don't
feels like it's stuck still, and it's like you just belch it up and all that stuff. So
Oh.
nasty, you know. It's like, so yeah.
Oh,
If
that's
you hear
makes up for
belching
him.
sounds, I
yeah,
apologize.
I know.
What's that?
It's what's up for you.
Yeah,
It's an egg.
yeah. Oh, I don't know why it was so bad. I loved hard-boiled eggs, but that for some reason just,
We're just getting older, and things just don't agree with us anymore. Seriously,
Yeah.
That's true.
it's true.
Yeah.
So I don't. You used to be able to down milk like nothing. I can't even look at the side of milk. Put it that way.
Oh, I love milk still. I can drink it real good, but for some reason it just comes out my nose if I drink it too fast, which is gross. And you know what? What hurts worse, Coca-Cola coming up out of your nose or
Oh,
milk? Milk. Milk's the worst. Not
Yeah?
that I sat there going, okay, I want this to come out of my nose. I want to know what it feels like. So I chug a Coca-Cola, and then all of a sudden, and then, want to do the same thing with milk. But no, milk is the one that, for some reason, hurts the most. I've always wondered that if you took a cow and if you found their tickle spot and you tickled them as hard as possible, would milk come out of their nose?
Oh, fine.
I hope not. But I think there's one thing worse than milk coming out of your nose.
What?
And that's if there was cereal with it.
Oh, yeah. Right. That's
That
true.
would hurt worse. That
Yeah,
would
like some
definitely
good old-
hurt worse.
Honeycombs or something.
Oh.
And Steph's asking, how is this related to the paranormal?
I know, right? I was gonna say.
He's being haunted by an egg.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start out the show, guys. So I had a very, very interesting morning. Started at like 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly. I get a knock on the door, and I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden there's a knock again. They fixed my peephole finally, so I go and look out there, and there's 2 of the maintenance guys. Now today they're supposed to be shutting off all hot water, so there was going to be no hot water. So I figured I'd get up at 7 and hurry up and take a shower, because then I'll have hot water.
Right.
And well, anyway, so I thought, I said, okay, just a moment. So then I opened up the doors, and I don't know why I did it, but I grabbed my 9mm behind my back like a moron, and they said, Jerry, I don't know. Yeah, that's just kind of weird. But anyway, so I said, so what's going on, you guys? And they said, well, you lived over in 2230. I said, yeah. They said, you said, oh, yes, hello, Steph. You had told us many times that the place was haunted. I said, yeah, in our apartment 230, it was, or 205, I said it was extremely haunted. They said, what kind of things happen? I said, well, the toilet would flush on itself, and you could hear the handle going. There was times when we'd see wisps of people or of something. Usually it was brown. Once in a while it was black, walking around in the hallways, or, shadow people actually just out of the side of your eyes and stuff. And then I said, oh, and then one time I was doing the show and there was a knocking and there was nobody there. And you guys heard the knocking because it was right before we were going to do the show. And I said then we had an old microwave that actually turned on, and, we'd keep a cup of water in there so it wouldn't burn up. And then we had a new one brought in, and it would still do it to that one. So we couldn't say, it was because the old one was just doing itself. So we had stuff like that. I said, why? And they said, well, we were called at like 2 a.m. to the building, and we've had a lot of people saying things such as they hear things and stuff. I said, well, you got people living in there, 205? They said, no, not until the end of the month. And I don't know who Pink Room is, but hello, Pink Room. And they said, well, we went there, he said, and we listened, and if you don't look down the hallway, all of a sudden you'll hear people, sounds more like kids running up and down the hallway like mad. And then you take a look, and there's nothing there. And it was going quite a lot. But I didn't tell you guys all of it, but there was knocking coming, and there was knocking from in your old room. Too. I said, in my room or the apartment? They said the apartment. And I said, what happened in my room? And they said, no, nothing happened in yours. It happened in the other room. I said, okay, and that was Nicole's, because my room was there. Nothing could get in my room. I mean, I had myself pretty protected and stuff. But I was talking to you, Willow, about it, and you were saying that you don't think that it's really anything bad or anything like that.
No.
So, yeah, it's just really interesting. And it's like something is there. And you were saying something like it just, well, like you said, it just misses me, or,
it's
or us.
mad that you left. Yeah, it's mad that you left.
Could be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that there was times when, and this is really weird, there's times when we would walk out in a hallway and you feel like something is close to you, or coming up on you. So whenever I'd go get the mail, or if we ordered something to eat and stuff, I'd always shut the door behind me, because if you tell an entity, that you are not welcome to come in unless I have invited you, not saying that they're a vampire or nothing, but they are not going to come in. And, well, this one really didn't. It had manners,
Right.
But there's a couple times that I forgot the door, and then I went on in, and I could almost see through another's eyes on how they came in, looked around, and went back out again, type of a thing. I know that sounds really strange, but so anyway, they said, what would you do to get rid of it? And I said, well, we'll talk numbers here. If you want it cleared, it's going to cost,
Yeah.
because I'd be plain and simple, I'll just bring them over here, in my closet.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can never be alone.
Exactly.
I agree with that one. Talk numbers, Jerry, because remember, they weren't very nice to you.
No, they weren't.
No.
And they're being even worse now all of a sudden. And that's another story. That's not a paranormal thing, as Steph reminded us. So.
Well, I'm excited because I'm going to be going to visit my best friend in North Carolina coming up the end of November.
Nice.
And guess what I'm going to do?
You're going to move out there.
Well, yes, but before that, we're going to do paranormal investigating.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Devil's Tramping Ground.
I think I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard of
Yeah. There's like this soil that nothing grows, and they claim that the devil has tramped on it, and the area is actually guarded by some hairy beast. So I don't know which hairy beast cryptid it is, but there's something there, and we're going to check that out. And I guess there's some campgrounds or picnic grounds and haunted playgrounds and all kinds of stuff, not to mention Brown Mountain Lights. Yeah, we're going to do all this.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds paranormal and cryptid all at the same time.
Yeah, and alien. I mean, it's got all of it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
So
gonna be
what
cool.
is that stomping ground? What is the whole thing of it?
Let me see if I can find the link, because it was really interesting.
Wasn't there like there's a couple of things like that actually in different states and stuff. But I know one of them had like an old, like a stump. One was a stump of a tree, apparently, that's in the ground.
Yeah. This
know?
one is called, I'll just read the article. It says, No Human Knows. Devil's Tramping Ground Legend predates founding of the United States.
Ooh.
And it's in Siler City, North Carolina.
Okay.
What it says is, it seems like the mystery of the Devil's Tramping Ground has always been part of North Carolina's mythology. However, all stories must have a beginning, and many would be surprised to discover written accounts of the tramping ground dating back into the 1800s and oral accounts dating back to before the founding of the United States itself. So it actually seems like the legend of the Devil's Tramping Ground predates the American Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that locals have wondered over the mystery of the unchanging dead soil surrounding the Devil's Tramping Ground. It seems the spot may have even more mysteries, such as when did the legend first begin? When was the tramping ground discovered? How did it gain national fame? So it's going back into the 1800s, and 1956, Charlotte Observer ran an article about the state highway department marking a route to make finding the Devil's Tramping Ground easier for travelers. So it's like now a tourist attraction, I guess, since 1956. Trying to see, what is it? Oh, scientists attempt to test the soil in the 1940s. So it's just saying they were running soil tests to try to solve the mystery of why nothing grows there. And they're still confused. It makes no sense. The soil is just sterile. There's nothing in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just in that spot, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
That's so odd.
It's weird. It says, back to the days when the indigenous tribes roamed the land before Columbus set foot upon the New World is when this mystery was first recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. And then there's something about in here that there is a great shadowy beast guards the tramping ground. That's what I want to find.
Okay, wait a minute. So you said this dates back from before Columbus?
Yeah.
So the Native Americans said what was there.
Yeah, it's a legend that goes that far back. I'm interested to find this great shadowy beast that guards the tramping ground. That was published in the 1930s newspaper. Somebody must have seen something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I don't know. We will find out. Because we're going to go check it out.
I mean, I wonder what's guarding it, and if it's before Columbus, right? That's what they said. I can imagine,
So, yeah, is it a skinwalker? Is
Right.
it an actual Wendigo? What is this? Because it says the ferocious beast is said to resemble a black bear, but it is not a bear.
That's odd.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to be looking at these weird things. It's going to be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That is going to be fun.
I'm
Definitely.
excited. And then I'll be living there shortly. So I'm very excited. So yay.
It's going to be a whole new thing of paranormal.
Yes. Because, the city here, everything has been shut down. You've got to pay
Right.
top dollar to even go in to investigate a place now.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
It's
because
absolutely
that's what it's
horrible.
been.
Well, hold
Yeah.
on. Now, Steve's got a good point. If it's evil, why stir it up?
Well, I don't plan on stirring it up. I just plan on checking it out.
Well, checking it out is going to be the same thing as stirring it up, really. If it's laying dormant and everybody's leaving it alone.
Well, they're not leaving it alone. That's the thing. People go there all the time.
They said it's a tour attraction. So
Yeah,
I
they've
mean, I'm
actually
sure.
got signs now. This is the devil's tramping ground. This direction. This many miles.
Yeah. Let's go join him. Yeah, let's go get a
Yeah.
couple beers and let's go to hell with him.
Well,
Gosh.
yeah. It's
Okay,
so
now
sad.
that,
Yeah.
I mean, in,
True.
heaven and hell type thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm just curious of what's actually there.
Or what it looks like, even to see what it looks like, or to see, if
Yeah.
even to say, hey, is this really real? I mean, come on, that doesn't even look like what they're all saying. You never
Right.
know. We'll only
That's-
just get that feeling, and you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of, what do they call those little local legends around and
yeah,
stuff.
I love actually debunking stuff like that. So Wasika has
Yep.
quite a few of them, and we've
Yep.
gone. And there's this thing. There's a legend called the Well. Okay. And all these people talk about it all the time. And it's on one of those chats that say America's Most Haunted. And then you look down, you look by Minnesota, and Wasika has quite a few, that we had some murders. People say they see their ghosts and all this stuff. And if you end in the driveway, you could see the little girls and all this hoopla. So then there's this thing called the Well. Okay. So of course, we went over and we found it, we figured, okay, let's go look for the well, let's go see if there's this crying baby in the well, Well, we go on the land, okay, and there is an old house behind it. It's all full of, like, leaves and stuff and branches and bushes and stuff, and you can go through this driveway. It's really hard to get to during spring, of course. Fall, it's a little bit better because everything dies down, of course. But, I mean, urban legends are like the most perfect things ever. So we go there, okay, and we see this big, like, metal door, like, in the ground, okay, and it kind of, there's a circle at the bottom, but there's a square, like, metal door. I think that's what I could, if I can remember, because I've seen a lot of things that are, like, so-called wells. It doesn't look like a well to me, so I really don't think it is a well, but, so, you're trying to lift this door or whatever. But when you look up, all of a sudden you see one of those old windmills, and all of a sudden you hear,
Oh,
when the wind's blowing. I'm thinking to myself, okay, all of a sudden I see these kids, in the middle of the night, go tromping on this land, and they're like, oh, there's the well. The baby must be in there. Oh, my gosh. And all of a sudden you'll hear, oh my God, it's
Yep.
crying. It needs out. Do you see what I mean? That's what
Yep.
makes these urban legends.
yes.
Dip on.
Yes.
That's how I see it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yep.
oh, there's the crying baby now.
That's hilarious.
I
So you
love
gotta
it.
think,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, people. It's totally debunked. I'm sorry. There is no well. The man even said, I think the man told us there was no well. He goes, but you're more than happy to go on there. Because he did catch us. Well, he didn't catch us because there wasn't really a private sign or anything. But you still shouldn't go on there. We were just looking for
Right.
the well. And he came and he really talked to us really nicely and everything. And he goes, if you guys ever want to come back, just come back. I said, but it is haunted, because I'll tell you why. When my investigators were trying to come from behind the house, because we went to go look at the house and everything, and they're trying to get out through the back of the house, all of a sudden you hear this man say, get out, like loud. And we're like, but it kind of like a muffing echo sound. We're looking around thinking like, okay, what is that? Is there somebody in the cornfield or something? Because there are cornfields around that property, and I'm thinking someone's going to come out and shoot us or something, And sure enough, there's nobody. Nothing,
Oh,
nobody,
wow.
nobody out there. So we could hear voices. And then the first time we went to just look at it to see if that was the property, we heard like a growling sound. Of course, we send one of our investigators in there, and she's like going for it, and there's a bunch of branches and everything, and she's right in the middle of this spot, and all of a sudden you hear this growling sound, and we all turn around to look, and she screams, and because you can hear, you hear this growling sound, we're all looking around, and there's nothing at all, and we have it on EVP, so we have it on recorder.
It was somebody's tummy. Somebody was hungry.
No, it was loud, Jerry. You could hear it by ear. So, shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I was just going to say that sounds like Katie and Steph. They were part of SIM, and so they recently went on an investigation with myself and Bella, one of our team members. And while we were investigating the place, the only thing that really ever happened was down in the basement when a spider decided to crawl down its web and land on my shoulder. And thank God Bella seen it, and after that it was like I was not the same. It's like I don't want to go downstairs. But anyway, we get upstairs, and there's a lot of stuff to see. They have a huge outbuilding. They have an old airplane hangar out there and stuff, and lots of property. So we went outside. I took out my, what do they call that thing? Infrared military grade thing to look through.
Like
Night.
Yeah.
Night vision. And so we're kind of looking the land and stuff like that. So we were out there for a while. We come back in, and at first thought there was somebody talking. And as I was locking the door, then all of a sudden there was whistling. Now, I don't know if I heard the whistling or not. I really don't know. But Steph and Katie and Bella, they went crazy because they could hear this whistling. And so I took my voice recorder and I went back, and by God, there was whistling. And it was bizarre because there was only us four there, and they would have seen me whistling.
Yeah. Don't you love stuff like that? Like,
yeah.
You're talking like the hangar and everything, but you just never know with old land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like the land that we were on, it's a super old house, like a super old house. I mean, it had like things that were old, like old chimneys and old flooring. And I mean, even the stairwell, the stairwell is super small. Stairwells were not very big back then. You know what I mean? And I just think it's so bizarre and so crazy. But I love stuff like that. And then when you're getting like work like that, like a whistle, and that you guys are the only ones out there, I think that's amazing.
Yep. It was a crazy thing. There was a huge well in the basement. As a matter of fact, there's 2 wells in the basement, but one was very, very large, and you could feel like something was coming through. And then when we first investigated it, they found in the walls stairway that led upstairs. They didn't even know there was an upstairs. They had no clue, but there was. And the things that happened in the hangar was very strange. There was bullet holes all over the wall. That was made from machine guns, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. So could he have been bringing illegals in? Don't know. Could it have been sex trafficking? Don't know. But one thing we did hear when we were outside, we heard roosters crowing, and I was told that there was chicken fights going on out there, or cockfights. Isn't that what they call it?
Cockfighting.
And it was just terrible, horrible thing. But one thing I see Stephanie write on here, if anybody's ever seen the Sharon Osbourne or the Osbournes Paranormal. So today I decided I'm just going to Google it. Oh my God, you guys! You gotta Google it or go on YouTube and look for it. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. There's Colossi. He's sitting there, and they're talking about this place, and they have video of it, him and Jack and Sharon, and his daughter was there for a short time, and she keeps going, I don't want none of this, Then she leaves, and they're watching this and they've seen this, which I think is crap. I don't think it even happened or anything like that. It was a YouTube type thing, and I don't believe in YouTube stuff, unless I physically was there and seen it. But anyway, and Jack says, so what do you think? Would you go in there? And Ozzy's like, yeah, I'm not going in there. No, there's no way I'm going to go in there. Oh, my God, I don't even want to see that. I'm never going to sleep tonight. Give me a beer. Oh, my God. And Sharon's like, oh, no, I don't think. Where'd your sister go? Well, she can't stand it, and stuff. And they were just so funny. I sat here belly laughing like crazy because it was just hilarious. But I haven't seen the new one that Steph talks about. This one's been, this was 3 years back or something like that. But it was pretty cool.
I do have to say, I love watching them, first of all. And they are very lucky because they can, once somebody knows that Ozzy Osbourne's at their door that's in a haunted area, they're going to let him in. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what. I would let him in and I'd pretend if it's haunted, okay, guys? I'm just saying. No, my house has some ghostlies. But to me, that is like, come on, guys. But behind this whole family, they are hilarious. Hilarious.
They
what
are.
I mean? Ozzy on top of it doesn't even want nothing to do with any of this paranormal. He talks about it all the time and saying, watch, something's going to happen. You just don't go in there. You just don't go in there. And Jack is busting up laughing. And then you got his sister, of course. She's just like, oh, my God, I can feel it. And she runs out every time out of a haunted area. She's running,
Oh, yeah.
Family. You totally got to love
I would just love to get one of those guys on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care which one.
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy, the way I can't understand anything he says, and I'd just be going, what? What? And then we'd have to put our own stuff in.
Get Sharon. At least
No,
we can
actually, I
understand her.
think I'd like the sister. What's her name, hon?
What is her name? Oh,
What
God.
is her name?
Kelly.
Kelly. I'd like to have
Yeah.
Kelly on because, that is one where she could say if it's real or not, and she wouldn't have a thing about it. Now, Jack would try to explain too much of it.
Yeah.
And like I said, Sharon, she'd probably do really good, but then she'd get into more of the View type stuff, and it's like,
Right. Who knows? I think
you're
it would be all. Any one of them would be awesome. They are just a cool family that would just. I love it. I love the whole fact that they do the paranormal, and it's a good show. It is. It's very entertaining.
It is. It's very entertaining. It's it's quite hilarious. But we've got something coming up, and it was funny when I seen that person on in the chat room about the pink room.
Mm-hmm.
That is coming up, and they are giving us almost a daily update of stuff going on there.
Wow.
It's gone wild, you guys. And I am so pumped on that. So if there's anybody listening that's thinking, gosh, I'd like to invest in a bar. I was a bartender for many, many years. And I would love the chance to purchase something like that. Oh, my God, that'd be so much fun.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't think they've said anything about what's going on in the pink room. I don't think anybody's seen anything. So maybe it's saving it all up for you there, Kimberly.
Yeah. I'm in the pink room then? Is it the pink
You're in the pink
on
room on
Saturday, right?
night.
Yeah.
on Saturday?
Yeah,
And
that's the best night to be there because it'll be all worked up by then. Cater's asking pink room. Well, Cater, if you would start listening to our show again, young man, we're doing a para expo in Humbird, Wisconsin at the Hotel Bar and Grill. And it's an old 1880s railroad town. And many people died upstairs, mostly on the north side. But ever since they started remodeling and bringing in antiques and stuff, other things have been happening on the south side. And that's where a lot of rooms are, too. I think there's one, two, three, four, 5 rooms over there, and one of them is the pink room, and that's where people see a creeper that creeps across the walls and ceiling, and it's been pretty crazy.
I think they say that people ran out of that room because of that.
Yes.
Yeah. They said that there was a truck driver in the middle of the night that was he had to get 8 hours in so he can continue on. He had something to eat or something, and he wanted a room that was far away from the bar so he can get some sleep because he had to get up early. And so they gave him the pink room, and he didn't mind it. He was just going to sleep anyway. So he went to bed, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, something woke him up, and when he looked, there was something creeping across the ceiling and down one of the walls. He just grabbed his stuff and ran out as fast as he could, banged on the manager's door, which was Levi at that time, and said, I don't know what's going on. I don't want my money back. I got to get out of here. I'll just sleep in my truck. Thank you. I just want you to know that. And I think that might have been one of the first accounts of, I'm not totally for sure, of that happening. Creepers are weak. Yeah, you never know until something like that comes up, because it's usually nothing was ever human.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing right there, Plus also now, I didn't know this. I actually referred to Mike with Odyssey about this. Hatman is also seen, but they really don't know if it's a real Hatman, but it's a man in a hat that stands on the balcony and looks in through the door. So it's between rooms 1 and 2, which are now one room. That's 1S. Or 1N, and then the other one is 3 and 4, but now it's just 3 because they made it into 1. There is a hallway that goes to the outside. If you guys watch the tape on Supernatural Investigators of Minnesota Facebook or on the Para-X or the Para-X,
the Calling Facebook, wasn't it?
No, it's on the Calling too, yeah. So anyway, if you watch that, you'll see where that hallway is, and at the end, that's where they see him. But from what I understand, is that hold on, let's go on a break because it's 7:32. So we're going to go to break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about it some more.
Geek ladies Sean and Victoria from Exploring the Paranormal with Geeks Paranormal are at it again with another amazing season full of paranormal celebrity interviews with amazing guests and stories of haunted locations and so much more. You will hear it first on Para-X. Tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. You will not be disappointed. For the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock for Dark Sun Rising on the Para-X Radio Network.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para-X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal. Para-X.
And we're back. This is Jerry with a Calling with Kimberly Juarez and Willow Le Machant. And hey, if you missed the first half of the show and you're just tuning turning in. Sound like Archie Bunker there for a moment. Hey, Edith, we're turning in. Anyway, you can get the rest of the show tomorrow when I put it on www.thecallingradioshow.com or on YouTube, The Calling Radio Show. And don't miss out, man. There is so many shows with Para X, and it's awesome entertainment. And you should, day, night, there's always replays going on and stuff. Check it out. Tuesday nights, you got The Calling with Stephanie, The Gathering with Stephanie and Heidi. Great show. Excellent entertainment. You have Geeks Paranormal right after us, and I think they got another time slot somewhere too. But check it out. There's so much more fun and interesting things. Not just us, but we better be your number one. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to what we're talking about. So, yeah, from what I understand about Hatman is that Hatman, when it shows up, it has to have a purpose. So just standing out on the deck looking in, from what Mike and some other people have been telling me, that is just a person. It's just an apparition of something that stands out there looking in. Right. Probably waiting to get invited, but when it comes to the other stuff, it's Hatman is pretty bad stuff.
Yeah, and apparently too, Jerry. Remember, we saw something just by when we were doing that show with Chris Riggins. Remember, I literally saw twice an apparition of some smoky, like trying to form next to her. And I mean, just that right there only tells you if they're just coming to just like that, envision like that, it's got to be off, crazy the charts. You know what I mean?
Folks, it's hard to put it into words what we seen that day, because it was like a strand, maybe a foot and a half high of smoke that just started swirling together, getting tighter. And
like if it was forming something, like if it's trying to form and swirl. It was just so bizarre, and I just thought, what is that? I thought it was smoke, but it was too thick. It was too
thick. And she wasn't smoking because you can't smoke up there.
She
was
couldn't
in room
see
number
anything.
1N. No,
she couldn't see. She felt it. She kept feeling it.
Yeah.
Like if it was touching her, or she just kept freaking out every time she'd turn around, and she'd be freaking out in that room. And I just thought, oh my God, this is really bizarre. And then when you said it, Jerry, I was like, hold on, because I got so excited.
Yeah, you did.
I mean?
You did. Her eyes almost
I'll tell you what you
popped
saw. I'll tell you what you saw. And sure enough, Jerry said, yep, that's exactly what I saw. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, I mean, it's going to be off the charts. And there's going to be so many paranormal investigators there with us, hanging out. It's going to be like the old crew hanging out together.
Yep, exactly.
I was talking to Steph last night, and I was just like, this is going to be so exciting because I get to spend the night on Friday night, and we're all going to hang out. I get to be there all weekend.
And Peter's asking, was it cold? No, it wasn't cold in there. It was quite warm, if I remember that day.
Yeah.
And she was up there. Was there a fan going? I don't believe she had a fan going.
No.
But the second one we seen was she's on this settee, and she's on one side of the bed. You can see the front part of the bed with two giant pillars on the corners. And the second one, then you could see a smaller version of what was twisting up. And as it went past the pillar, what looked like to me the top of a little blonde girl's head. And that was kind of spooky, because it was like, and the thing is that room is now room 1 and 2, and I stayed in room 2, and that's where I was having the being touched, the voices, all that stuff. It was an amazing. And then I was actually sleeping in a bed that was just the frame was from back in the 1870s that the little kids died on up there during the smallpox epidemic. And And it was so weird because people were so small back those days. My feet were sticking out through the slats, and Nicole was in the next room, in room number 3, and she had things going on in there too. And that's another thing. I mean, this is going to be extremely interesting.
It
Of
is.
all the stuff going on. So
It is. And you still have openings for investigations, Jerry?
there may be 1 or 2 openings for investigations. So to meet us there, it's $50 for the investigation, but that does also give you the Paranormal 101 class. And that is, I'm going to be starting out to give that, Sim Crew is, but it's also we're going to let teams such as your team or Willow or a Search for Spirits or Odyssey Paranormal, anybody who wants to get up and talk about Paranormal 101, their beliefs, because that's the thing is, no one's a professional. No one's an expert on the paranormal. I don't care what anybody says. You see people on all those shows, oh, he's an expert in this. Really? No, you're not. No one is. It's so vast that, it's just, there's no possible way. So anyway, so it'll be open. Seems like a very active place. Oh, boy. I tell you, Cater, it sure is. And Chloe Girl says, ever captured pictures of people in the cemetery? I recently did. Lots of people, all different ages, times in history. Caught one woman with a Victorian dress. So awesome. That's one thing. I know that Kimberly and Willow believe in doing cemeteries and stuff. I myself, I don't believe. I think that the only thing really in cemeteries is shadow people. But, I'm not a professional, or I'm not an expert or anything like that. It's just I don't believe in investigating cemeteries because that is the rest spot. That's the spot where someone should be able to just rest, and nobody should be in there, because look what's happening where kids go in there all the time. They bust up the cemetery, the headstones and all that because they can, because someone may be Jewish or because there's something cool there and they think it's funny. And I just don't believe anybody should be in a cemetery unless there's somebody in there that they know that had passed away and they go in to pay their respects.
Yep.
Well,
I believe that.
And I do, and to some extent, yes, I do too. But I go in and I visit. I literally go in and visit with spirits. And sometimes they've been forgotten or all the family has died away. And just to go in, I used to walk before they closed up, like St. Louis Cemetery number 1 here, and you could just walk in and just spend some time walking around. I would go in and there were 2 children's spirits, and they would each take my hand and they would walk me through the cemetery. And I would go and visit them like at least once a week. And then all of a sudden the church, closed it up and you have to have your tour guide with you. You can't go in. And it really ruined it because now it's nothing but a tourist attraction. So, I go into places like Charity Hospital Cemetery where they have the mass graves from yellow fever. And those people have been forgotten. Those people literally never had a proper burial. They were all thrown in a pit, basically, and covered up. They don't even have records of their names. They lost everything. So we don't even know who's in there.
Right.
So I would go in there and I would get them to tell me their names so we could put them into our prayers. And I would go in and help them cross because there were a lot of them that didn't know they were dead.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, I could see something like that, especially because Walcott, all the baby graves there and stuff like that. I don't even know if any of them even had names and they were just numbers.
And when and Jerry, we're talking about Walcott. I took pictures there. Ask Stephanie. Stephanie will tell you. I've gotten a picture where you could see the little faces in that picture, and it looks like these little bubbles like full of like faces, and you see them, and it's just crazy, and to me it's just validation. And I I don't go into a bunch of different cemeteries. And remember, cemeteries have history. A lot of them have history for the place that they're in, or maybe because there was this like smallpox that came through, or something deadly that came through, and it's part of that history. So I kind of like the older cemeteries more versus the newer cemeteries. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that there won't be any in the newer cemeteries. I just feel that people knew better now to be with God than they were to be back then. You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel some people could be still attached to their body sometimes, not all the time, but still, who's to say,
Well, like with yellow fever, they were burying people alive because they didn't know. They thought they were dead, but they were just in a coma. So
that's true. That's true.
So that's why a lot of them are really lost, because they're like, why did you bury me when I wasn't dead? They don't know that they're dead. They think they're still alive. That's why they wander. And the more they wander, the angrier they get because they're not at rest.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you guys, with you ladies on that and stuff, but I don't know.
And we all have our own ways of doing things, their own ways, and that's the beauty of us three. When we talk about stuff like this, everyone has their input, and it's great because even our chat people, here, they tell us the same, different ways of what they do and stuff like that, so I just think it's cemeteries. I do enjoy them. I have to say that.
I do. I love walking through them. I feel peaceful.
They're peaceful to me.
Oh my God, they're so beautiful. And I love to take the pictures of the different mausoleums and crypts. They're just gorgeous.
The history and, the families, and you just know that these people have passed away, or the little children. And it's like, you just want to move them on, and you just want to be there if they need you. You know what I mean? I guess that's my part of helping the spirits. Do you see what I mean?
Wonder, and then you wonder, well, what did they do in their life? What was their life all about? I like to think about them. It's like, because they are people, and what did they experience when they were here? And I think that's why I love to walk through it too. But some of the architecture and stuff, especially in like the Metairie Cemetery here, the huge crypts, the architectures. My
yes,
the Millionaire Row. Oh my God, this is gorgeous.
That is something to talk. There's a lot of beautiful cemeteries. Cemeteries. Yeah. So
I know there's some really old ones in North Carolina that my friend has mentioned, and we want to go and visit, and not do investigations, but just go and visit and just take photos and see if anybody's there. Anybody wants to talk to us, because we both are mediums, so we can walk through, and just go, hey.
Exactly.
Anybody want to talk?
Well, it's funny because I have this good EVP of when we're walking through the cemetery, and I noticed this man's cemetery, this plot, so I take a picture and everything, and we're filming it and everything. So I put everything on there, the K2 on his stone and everything, and I said, I don't know, but there's a man here, and I feel like he was sick or something, like he had a flu, and he died of a bad flu. And I said, did you die, sir? And all of a sudden you hear, yes, like a man's voice, clear as day. And he says, yes. I was like, whoa, and the K2's going off and everything's going off. I mean, who's to say, and that's all we got. That was it, and I don't know. I just think it was really bizarre. And there was just us females, and I don't think any of us sound like that, so it was pretty good.
Well, we didn't want to tell you, Kimberly, but
I heard I had a very attractive voice too.
You do have a very attractive voice.
Oh my God.
No, but it's the cemeteries and stuff like that. I don't know.
Right.
Well, that's I can see your guys' point. You ladies' point, but I still just, It's not that I'm afraid to go in or anything like that. It's just, I was always raised that you don't go in unless there's a reason to go in, and investigating, especially at nighttime. And what is it that everybody feels they need to go and investigate at night?
You don't.
No, I thought during the day. No,
Yeah.
I go in the daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a lot of
ghosts
pictures and
don't
videos.
sleep, and that's one
Yeah.
thing. So many people believe that. Oh, they only come out like midnight. Really? Where did you get that?
What, they
Oh,
work
I
in the
watched
third
this-
shift or what?
Yeah, I watched this cartoon once on Saturday morning, and my God, come on, people. No, it can be at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, Walcott had two different type of hauntings. During the day seemed to be more, I don't know, more attentive and a lot more heavier than at nighttime, though they were violent at nighttime. Yes, you can see ghosts in the daytime, nighttime,
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
Yep. Gator, I wish you would come over to this country. I tell you, we could bring you to so many places and you will never return. Yeah,
In other
and
words, he's talking about kidnapping you. I'm just letting you know that.
Steph was saying senses are heightened because it's so dark, or it's dark, so
That's
all
true.
the senses are on high alert and able to detect spirits. Maybe. Yeah, I believe that. But also I believe, too, is that if a person is like, they go once, they go twice, oh, I don't even sense anything whatsoever, keep going. Because the thing is, your senses will develop in time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, and I'm sorry if you guys do classes, oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. But the more and more that you honestly go and do make a good effort, or a good, investigate and everything, that it'll build you.
Mhm.
It'll
Definitely.
build you to that point. So paying somebody $6,000 to make you into a medium and stuff, come on, and
Yeah.
never say you're a medium, especially if you need to call somebody because you got something in your home. Oh my God, we had this
Uh-huh.
lady call us up, and she's like, well, I want you to let you know there's all sorts of things going on, but I need you to understand I am a medium. Okay, why aren't you taking care of it yourself?
Right. That's what I do.
I don't understand. Yeah, and we actually went to that place once, and they started saying all these different teams that have been there, and I know them all, and we have para-unity with them, and they're saying, oh yeah, it was so haunted they never came back because they were scared of it. I said, that is not the truth. And once we did the investigation, there was high EMFs down there. So sure, the equipment was going to go. And she kept saying, I can feel right here. I said, exactly. That's the spot where it's high EMFs. But that's because you have a wiring issue. That's not because it's that. Well, then I just told her, I said, I can't do this. I'm not going to do it. Then she got Mike Odyssey involved. And Mike said, would you like to help me? And I said, sure. He told me where it was. I said, seems awful familiar. And once we get there, I said, what's the lady's name? Then he told me, and I'm like, oh, boy. I said, Mike, I can't be nice to her. We in there, she's like, yes, I remember you guys were here, and you ran screaming. Because I said, I never ran screaming. I said, you are full of beans.
Yeah.
So I used words. I said, I'm calling bull crap on you.
Yeah.
Stronger words than that, too. I said, you claim that you're a psych or a medium. I said, stop doing that because you're not a medium. I said, you got your mom worried sick. And she's like, well, the doors close by themselves. You have cats.
Yeah. Yep.
Cats will do that. And while we were there, she had this beautiful white cat that kept rubbing up against the door, and then would shut the door. But she was, no, the entities are making it do it. Yeah, really, Jerry ran screaming? Don't think so. Yeah, ghost union rules. That's what we need to do, guys. Make a ghost union. That's funny. Why do paranormal show always do their investigations at night? Because their ratings are up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of
What the
these
network
shows,
wants, uh-huh.
exactly. They want everybody to be, thinking that, and you don't see a regular guy like myself in a show like that doing it. You don't. You see guys that their hair is perfect, it's slicked back. Oh my gosh, they're just, they're built, they're wearing tight black t-shirts, showing arms.
Yep.
It's like if they see me on TV, they think it's a Saturday cartoon,
We saw you on TV. You've been on TV, Jerry.
Yeah, I know, that's true. Forgot about
Was
that.
it a Saturday cartoon? Did I miss something?
No. That was
No, but that is true. They do these producers pick out the young ones, and because they want it to look good and stuff like that. Sometimes they'll get an older person or whatnot, but there's always 3 younger looking ones before the older one. So, like I said, EVP work, all that stuff, it's all worked by people in the background. Like, you guys don't realize there's a lot of people, they don't do their own footage sometimes. You'll see them but there's a lot of other people that are behind the works on these shows, so.
And sometimes they got to redo their lines 2 or 3 times
Right.
because they didn't get it right. It's like, did you see that?
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God, did you hear that? Their face wasn't just right. We need to do that again.
Right, exactly.
That's why the spirits are sitting back there. They're going, do you guys know what he's talking about? Hello? What?
Yeah.
Did any of you guys say anything?
Well, some of the guys, when I do talk to them, like, all the guys from Ghost Hunters, or I won't say the names, but they say that sometimes they even have so many, and the producers will pick out what they want. They never really show the good stuff, he says. And he says, but when they go see this good stuff and everything, they won't even pick it. And it's like, what? We got this great evidence, but yet you're not going to put it on the show. It just irks them, because then they get something super good, and it does not make the show. He says sometimes they just can't.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
It's all put together the way they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
It is. How did we get to that point?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I hope we're doing some filming, recording of film, watching us do these investigations in Humber.
Yeah.
We got to show this. I plan on going live myself every single day for a little short period of time while I'm there.
Showing people what we're doing and everything. Yeah. They're missing out. If nobody's getting on board with us, it's going to be awesome. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
And remember the bathroom, what is your name? Don't you change it on me. Willow?
Yeah.
That's right across from you is actually the haunted bathroom.
Right. Yeah. And the door will close on its own and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As long as it doesn't open while I'm in there. That's really embarrassing.
Oh my God.
That would be funny.
Then I'll be having some words. We'll have some words with the spirit.
Cater's saying, why don't you have all your own paranormal investigation shows on YouTube? We do, sir. If you go to the Calling Radio Show, that's this show here, we have our stuff on there. And if you go to Supernatural Investigators in Minnesota, there's also on YouTube, you'll see a lot of our stuff there too. So, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And we are going, Steph and I are driving to Humbird on this coming Sunday. So we're going to be videotaping a lot, and we'll put it on our YouTube channels, and I'm sure Steph will be putting it on Squatcher's channel too. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. So if you are in the area, stop by. $10 to get in, check out all this stuff. $5 to get a tour of the inside and all the rooms, and we'll talk about everything that happens. That's right. Squatchers are on YouTube, which is Squatch Herbs. So there. Oh, and we are at the end of the show. So I want to thank Para X and thank you, Sarge, you sexy beast, you. And for all you listeners out there, we really appreciate you guys listening tonight. And for the troops, hey, you'll be home soon if you're not home already. So we will talk to you all and see you all next week. Good night.